Yes, this is Mr. Controversy, and this is the infamous three-point conversion station. Keep it locked.
On this episode of Brownstown, USA, we will talk about some of the additions to the Browns, of course, building of the Browns, some rumors that we've been hearing, and also the long-awaited schedule release. So, Brownstown, USA is powered by the Three-Point Conversion, the threepointconversion.com, where fans' opinions matter. Make sure you subscribe to Brownstown, USA on all your social media platforms and all your podcast listening stations. We have just added another station through Stitcher. So if you're a Stitcher person, definitely make sure that you listen to us there, as well as iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and everywhere else. So without further ado, here's Brownstown, USA.
Got it back because I'm brown. So what's up? Coming at you live and direct. PO3 represent. From all the South Town with that new sound as we get down.
From coast to coast, representing all of the dog pound, this is the Brownstown USA podcast, powered by the one, the only, Three-Point Conversion. The Three-Point Conversion, with fans' opinions, they do indeed matter. I'm Eric, and over there is LA.
What's going on, Browns fans? And we are excited to be back with another episode. We took a little bit of a break, a little bit of a hiatus. I mean, it is off season right now, and if the players get a break, we should get a break as well. But we have had things going on as throughout the weeks, even though we thought it was supposed to be a little bit down, but we've been having things going on. And then, of course, this week, man, it's the NFL draft. Now, the NFL draft to us isn't as exciting, or at least to me isn't as exciting, because we're used to having multiple first-round picks. But it is what it is, and we'll get into that more sooner rather than later. Now, Eric, we've been down for a little bit. What you been up to, man?
Mainly covering baseball, for the Three-Point Conversion, but other than that, just work, playing guitar, just business as usual, really. Celebrating my birthday, that's really about it.
Well, again, happy birthday, man. The Stash had a birthday. So, definitely exciting to see you here with me on another podcast, as well as celebrating another year of life, my man. So congratulations on that. Me, I know that I have been pretty much, doing what I do, eating food as far as new things to try baking on. And, Game of Thrones just came back out. I know you're not a big fan of Game of Thrones, but I am. So I've been checking that out, plus catching up on all my TV shows and all of that. And then, unfortunately, getting placed on the I don't think it's season-ending IR, but, I'm on IR right now. Pulled the hammy out there racing with the kids and stuff, thinking I was young, didn't stretch, and pulled the hammy. So, again, don't fret, people. It's not season-ending IR. I think I'm gonna be out for maybe 2 to 4 weeks, get reevaluated, and then I'll let you guys know from there. So, Eric, I know you had since the time that we have talked, we have added some more people to it, more so the bigger name that actually we've been tracking for a while. I mean, I've said it on the show a few times, and when the Steelers announced that they had plans to release him, which was weird because we heard the rumor about 2 weeks before he actually got released, because they were waiting to release him towards the first week of April. But safety Morgan Burnett, we've seen how the trade, for Jabril Peppers left the spot there at that safety position. And, a lot of people thought we should get Eric Berry. There were some other names being floated around. Maybe even thought about just pulling up somebody already on the roster. However, Morgan Burnett was added as soon as he was dropped from the Steelers. I need to know because, like I said, I've been on the record of talking about being a big fan of his and wanting to bring him in. Thought it would be a great fit for us. What were your thoughts when you heard about the Morgan Burnett news?
When I heard about Morgan Burnett, I thought it was a good move, even if it's just for those 2 years, I think it was, a 2-year contract. I could be wrong on that one, but for 2 years, you have the opportunity to teach somebody how to play that position, how to do whatever you need to do. But the one thing that I think it definitely does bring, it brings an electricity, because how many times have we seen players move from team to team in the division with a chip on their shoulder? I mean, when I just think back to it, when we had Paul Kruger, the guy was nearly a Pro Bowler every year he was in Cleveland after the Ravens didn't want to pay him. When what's his name? The other linebacker, name escaping me. We got him from Arizona, I believe, a few years ago. The year that Carlos Dansby.
Yeah.
Dansby was a huge force in Cleveland. Even to a lesser extent, Hubbard was not bad last year, but he wasn't overly impressive. But the thing is, there's an added fire when someone from a division rival comes over to your team and plays hard. And given that Burnett has more chips on his shoulder because of the way he was treated in Pittsburgh, I think that it's going to be an electric move at this point, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah. And like you spoke to, it's a very, very team-friendly contract. Nothing big, nothing huge. He got a $2 to $3 million sign-in bonus, so that pretty much soaked up everything. We can move on after this year and not have any dead cap or anything like that to hit us. So it's not really a big deal. And the crazy part is I've seen so many people, not so many people, but I've seen some key people that I do follow that sort of didn't like the deal. But for the most overall part, people did like it. Burnett, he was based off PFF, because we're big PFF fans as well, played above average there. Even though the Steelers weren't a great fit for him, they played him in different schemes that he really wasn't suited for. And it's crazy because we've heard that before, right? We've seen that with Jabril at first, and everybody thought he sucked and was harassing him at your local Walgreens for being in the wrong scheme. And we all joked about it too, which was funny because we all joked about it as far as him lining up, miles away from the line of scrimmage, but we knew that he was a line of scrimmage type safety. So you joke about it, but then you want to harass the guy when he's at Walgreens trying to pick up, some cough syrup. That doesn't make any sense. So I believe that with him coming here and us having Wilkes, I'm just very intrigued to see what happens overall on that defense. I know that we have this, the building blocks there. We have talent. As John Dorsey has done a good job, and the rest of his team over there has done a good job bringing in talent. I just really want to see what this defense is going to look like now, because as much as we joked about Greg Williams, we kind of knew that, okay, he's going to come out, he's going to be aggressive, he's going to blitz. We kind of got comfortable with that, right, because he's been here for a few years. So now, fresh new face, new scheme. Not new scheme, but you know what I mean, like just something new. So I'm kind of nervous, and I know we'll break this down a little bit more towards the, towards getting into the regular season. But if I had a kind of nervousness about it, it would be about that new face.
Absolutely. I mean, the other thing is with Greg Williams is we were willing to give him a pass on a lot of things, but once everything got going, you kind of realized that the writing was going to be on the wall after a while. I mean, he was a great motivator, but he wasn't the type of guy that you want completely developing the defense and having free reign over, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Now, after adding Morgan Burnett, was there anybody else that we added in your mind besides like depth pieces here and there, was anybody else we added that jumps out to you currently? Because a lot of this stuff got swept up under the rug, man, with this OBJ trade. So.
Yeah. One kid that interests me very, very much so was, I believe you posted about him, that kick returner.
Oh, yeah.
Like, my thing is this. We haven't had a real kick returner in years. The last one was probably Cribs at this point.
Not probably. Is.
Okay, fair.
I mean, that's pretty much it. Because if you want to go back before that, we had Northcutt returning punts and kicks for a second, right?
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, man, it's just been horrendous. And I mean, wouldn't you have loved for us to sign a kid like that and pair him up with Amos?
I would have, but at the same time, it's interesting because shut up. But you know what?
I'll pick it at you.
I mean, here's the thing. Considering that we sent 3 people back to return kicks this year, seriously, if you don't believe me, how many times did you see Jarvis, Callaway, and Jabril returning kicks and punts?
Look, the thing about it is that because of a lot of the NFL rules, yes, they've kind of negated that position to be super, super important like it used to be, but it still is very important as you see. So when we had Jarvis back there and we had, Jabril and even Callaway to a certain extent, even though I'd have been cool, with Callaway if he could actually do it. The thing was, I don't want my number one receiver at the time, Jarvis, returning kicks. That's crazy. I don't want my starting safety, Jabril Peppers, returning kicks. That's crazy. Especially when I'm not saying they're not dynamic athletes, but I don't see them being a threat like that. I mean, maybe Jabril, but Jarvis, I'm not picturing Jarvis running one back, for a TD or anything like that. And like I said, we used to get nervous with people's fumbling back there. Fair catching at the at the 10-yard line. I mean, it was just all kinds of just weird awkwardness that we were just like, look, man, just let the ball go out of bounds or something. We'll just take 20, 25, whatever, and call it a day.
Seriously, I mean, the thing is, I still think that there's one kid in the draft that I would love to have in Cleveland, but I'm going to save that for later on in the week, just because, well, I just want to leave a little suspense there.
Well, the cool part about this, and then we'll take a quick break, is that to have a specialist back there. Look, we all seen that was a glaring problem, and if we give John Dorsey the credit of being a very smart man, and we all see this, of course, he had to see this times 20. So, again, having a specialist back there, the intriguing part about it is that he hasn't played football since I want to say 2000. Was it 16 or 17? I think I was reading up on. So he's just been, I don't know where. And that's the crazy part. So definitely want to see what he brings to the table. The only one thing I will say too, Eric, about this, and this isn't even a slight on me as far as pulling a hammy or anything, but real fast guys like that, and especially when they're just specialists, they get injured a lot quicker with soft tissue damage type injuries because they're not out there warming up all the time. They're only coming in for certain situations, and then you're telling your body just to hurry up and run as fast as it can. So hopefully he can stay warmed up. Hopefully, he doesn't have any nagging injuries, but I wouldn't be surprised if it happens.
Agreed, but that's also why you have to keep multiple people like that. That's why you need to have – that's why if you look at it now, you have the 2, let's say, wide receivers or cornerbacks that can do it, and then you also have, a running back and a you have the running back, how we have Hilliard, and then you have just one extra guy, a safety that can do it just in case. You really have to carry 4 different people that have that ability. I mean, I know there's only 53 spots on the roster, but at the end of the day, you need to have that kind of depth because as much as it may not look important, it's still pretty damn important, as we've seen with Jarvis waving off people for a fair catch, Jabril waving off people for a fair catch when they're 25 yards away.
True. Now, when we come back, we will talk about building the Browns, which has been compared to Hard Knocks, and I've seen a lot of people say that they actually like building the Browns a little bit better than Hard Knocks. So that's interesting. I'm sure Eric will give his opinion on that when we come back. But this is Brownstown USA, powered by the 3-Point Conversion. We will be right back.
I'm Larry Gajobi from the Cleveland Browns. I'm rocking with the 3-Point Conversion Radio.
All right, and we are back, Brownstown USA. And again, make sure you follow Brownstown USA on all our social media. We have a fan page now at Brownstown USA Podcast. We have an interactive group that you can post and talk as much crap as you want to in there, as long as you keep it clean for us. But Brownstown USA on Facebook. We have a Twitter, Brownstown USA, Instagram, Brownstown USA. I mean, shoot, we may even get I don't know what's next now in the social media world, but I'm sure whenever something new pops up, it'll be there at Brownstown USA. So make sure you follow us there, okay? Now, coming back, Eric, building of the Browns. Let me ask you this before we actually go into this last episode. Like what I just said before the break, do you feel that you like building of the Browns more than Hard Knocks, or like where are you at on that?
The thing is, and this is not a slight against Hard Knocks, because they do a great job with their program. Plus, it really showed how realistic some of the people were, because we got to see that Corey Coleman was kind of, for lack of a better word, fake. We got to see just some of the interactions. It really pumped the brakes on the whole Callaway situation. So I have no slights against it. But building of the Browns just felt more personal, you know? We got to see, like, Baker in his natural habitat. There wasn't like that one. I mean, it had those focuses, but it wasn't focused completely on one person every week. Because how many times did we say during Hard Knocks that that we were tired of seeing freaking Cajuice?
Yeah. You bring up some good points, and I think just to break it down and simplify it even more is just to say that Hard Knocks, they aren't our people, and they're coming in and they're like a news team trying to get the drama and all the messiness, compared to building of the Browns where it's our people and we're showing all the good feels. I mean, that's just really what it boils down to. It's not a dramatic thing. It's not a, oh my God, let's look at the dynamic between Baker and Hugh Jackson so that we can, dredge up a controversial story. It's also not about, finding those unique stories, like how you said what they did with Cajuice, to make sure that, hey, maybe if we can create enough buzz around him, maybe he can get a roster spot, stuff like that. So that's really what it boils down to. Strangers coming in, trying to create their own narrative about your team compared to the people that's actually there in the building and knows what's going on and gets you all the good heart feels. So with that being said, this past episode, we seen a lot of different things. We seen Garrett just show a side of him that pretty much everybody was kind of wondering about even more. A lot of people thought that Myles Garrett is kind of awkward, socially awkward when it came to just being out in the public and stuff. So we seen another side to him. We seen even more into the myth of Freddie Kitchens. We've seen some tidbits from OBJ and the whole Landry thing. So that's actually what I want to touch on first with you. So we seen OBJ sit down, got interviewed. Of course, I'm a big CBD fan, Cleveland Browns Daily, Nathan Zagura. You are as well, one of the best in the business. Sit down, he did the interview with OBJ. But there was another interview that we seen on top of that, and OBJ kind of alluded to that Dorsey kind of told Jarvis about the trade and said, hey, we're close to doing this, and I'm just calling you. Jarvis told OBJ, I'm just calling you to see if you'll approve it, like if it's cool. Now, a lot of people on Twitter, Eric, were kind of confused because Dorsey kind of made it or led us to believe that nobody knew about it. How do you feel about this? Are you all up in arms like how most of us Browns fans get sometimes when things like that happen? Like, what did you see from this?
Well, the one thing I did see was John Dorsey is not trying – while he's trying to build a winning team, I also think he's trying to be fair because at the same time, as much as we may sit here and say, oh, OBJ will love Cleveland because we have his best buddy, we don't know that. We've always heard the narrative that they were as close as they were. But the thing is, being told that and then actually seeing it are two completely different things. Like, someone can tell you that Shaq and Kobe, for example, freaking hated each other, that they wanted to kick the crap out of each other. But how many times did you see them actually play along with each other, actually respect each other enough? Like, that's part of the thing. So to see that.
Well, they did. I don't know if you got a chance to see the interview, but they did sit down and actually air it out because there was some real beef there. But they actually just admitted that it was more so them being competitive and being young in the time and being some boneheads. So, but still, I definitely see your point there.
Yeah.
But so we had that with the OBJ thing and the Jarvis thing. Another thing, I don't know if it was this episode or before, but I think John Dorsey even got the orange and brown slogan wrong. You know, like when Freddie Kitchens said,
"If it was last week's."
Yeah. So that was bugging me real quick before we go jump back into this week. But he was like, "Yeah, if you're orange or brown." What did he say? If you're orange and brown,
he said you matter because you're wearing brown and orange. I think it was.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, just get the slogan right, okay? but anyway, I think it was cool seeing Freddie Kitchens get up on the stage, especially at Alabama. And Eric, I don't know how much time you spent down south, but with me, I spent about 13 years in NC, North Carolina, and to be honest with you. If you want to talk about a Alabama fan, I used to be so mad at Alabama fans, but they are extremely passionate. There's nothing else that matters except for Crimson Tide football. And on top of that, Alabama doesn't have a pro team, so they don't really have anything else but the Crimson Tide in that state. So they are some of the most diehard passionate fans I've ever met, period, when it comes to that. And you already know when they heard I was an Ohio State fan, it was a wrap. So, but I understood what Freddie meant when he said that he hasn't felt something like this and that Browns fans could rival Alabama football fandom because of how passionate we are about football and about our team. How did you feel from that? What did you take from that?
I got to agree with them here. I mean, no disrespect to Ohio State fans because they are a very good fan base. But the thing is, Cleveland is the home of football when you get down to it. I mean, when you think of football, you think of three cities. You think of Canton, you think of Cleveland, and you think of Green Bay. Like, Denver, you think of getting high all the time. New York, you think – shut up, it's true. New York, you think about baseball. Boston, you think baseball. San Antonio, you think basketball, so on and so forth. The fact of the matter is, when you talk about Cleveland, no matter how many teams have come through this great stadium and kicked the crap out of us, no matter how many times we've seen number one picks flop, no matter how many times we've seen Cleveland make a very stupid move like hiring Hugh Jackson, the fans have always been there to support them. It's one of the things that when you get down to it, this is why Cleveland won that tournament poll from Fox Sports. I don't care what someone like a Colin Cowherd says, because he doesn't know the real Cleveland. The fact is, every week we sit down in front of our televisions, in front of our computers, in the stadiums, at the bars, filing in to watch the Orange and Brown play. It doesn't matter if we lose by 3. It doesn't matter if we lose by 42. It doesn't matter if we win by 10. That's just what a Cleveland Browns fan is. And that's exactly how Alabama rolls at this point. So I got to give Freddie all the credit in the world for that one.
Yeah. And just an inspirational speech. Something that even got my fire going even a little bit more, with him talking about, if you want to do something and be great at it, it's going to come down to passion, and if you want to be average, then you'll just sit back and do whatever you can and whenever you can. So it kind of spoke to me on many different levels, personally, of course, sports and, just being a father and everything like that. Like, it makes perfect sense. So, again, the legend of Freddie is growing and getting better and better with time. Now, we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we'll talk about a little bit more tidbits that we have from Building of the Browns, and then talk about what we've been hearing around the league, I guess. So, this is Brownstown USA, powered by the 3-Point Conversion. Be right back.
Yo, this is Dante Fowler Jr., man. LA Rams, Super Bowl LA Rams, and this is 3-Point Conversion. Yo.
Brownstown USA, powered by the 3-Point Conversion. And as again I said, 3-Point Conversion. That's where fans' opinions matter. Make sure you go to 3pointconversion.com. Catch a lot of articles written by my man across from me, Eric. Some great writers over there, Ab Staley. Raphael Haynes, CEO. Alan Fields is doing a great job over there. Damian Adams, the whole squad, the whole team. Just so many good people. Alex Babb. My goodness, like we got a nice team built, and we're doing great things. Make sure you also follow the 3-Point Conversion on all your social media outlets. That is at 3PTCNVRSN, and we'll get you those latest sports news and updates along with the great articles. So, getting back to it, Eric, we seen in the Building of the Browns, man, something that just made people go crazy. Again, I love our people, man. I love our people, but we're so perceptive, and we caught something in the background. It was the Baker Mayfield scene. Actually, Jarvis and OBJ, when they were showing them the prototypes of the jerseys, asking them their opinions, seeing if they can get their approvals. But there was a particular helmet laying in the background that somebody screenshotted and circled it and said, "What the heck is this?" So, Eric, can you talk to us, man, and let me know how you feel about this legendary helmet that we see in the background?
Well, first thing I gotta say is I'm a little confused with it because, well, when someone brought it up, I think it was on our page. The one thing that they did bring up was it looked very similar to a Tennessee helmet. So they were thinking maybe that they have Tennessee helmets all over the building just because, well, given that Jimmy Haslam's a huge donor to University of Tennessee, it would make sense. But, I don't know about you. If it is indeed a future Browns helmet, I don't know if I'd be a fan right away, to be honest, because I got to be honest. I like the current helmets we have now. I like the classic helmets. I like just the brown on it, like the brown orange. I just don't see a need for a white helmet, personally.
Look, I can care less. Again, like I said, when it comes to these helmets and uniforms, I just want us to go win meaningful football games. Mm-hmm. To me, it reminded me of, and I think a couple of people said this, is that it reminded them of when Tampa Bay kind of throws on their weird, their weird scheme, and they have the little pirate on the side. it definitely reminded me of that as well. And I think this will be a part of the. And again, these are prototypes. We can't. They're not even releasing this stuff until a year from now. So even with the fan maybe circling it, the Browns are very conscientious about their fans and about how we feel about things. So maybe we caught it, and maybe we don't even do it because they seen the backlash of it, or not. I don't really care. Like, to be honest with you, I just don't. I mean, I'm a fan of the color rush jerseys, of course, like everybody else.
Oh, yeah.
I like the dark brown jerseys as well, just because with me, when it comes to shirts and things like that, I like darker color shirts because they don't get as dirty as quick. So that's how I look at things. That's how I assess things when it comes to wardrobe. I really don't care. Well, as long as they don't look like Michigan State's jerseys, or or the Jets, because they got torched.
Ooh, those Jets. You know what?
Yeah,
There's only one jersey I think that's uglier than that. I don't know if you remember these. The Maryland jerseys.
I don't know, man. I kind of want to put up there those Steelers Bumblebee-looking jerseys, too.
Oh!
Yeah, those are pretty ugly as well. Like, those are very bad. So, on top of it just being Steelers, but, that just is horrendous to me. But we got some other rumors floating around. Eric, I know we brought up, talking offline a little bit, but Darren Lee, there's a report surfacing, and we're going to see a lot of reports leading up to the draft on Thursday right now. There's going to be a lot of smoke screens. For instance, now we're hearing that the Arizona Cardinals is not going to take Kyler Murray. We're hearing that the Giants are not looking at a quarterback with their first-round pick, that they're enamored with the pass rusher, and then they're worried about quarterback later. We're going to see a lot of smoke screens, a lot of different things. And the crazy part is that we're not a part of this. Why? Because we don't have a first-round pick, and it's a weird territory for us, a very weird territory for us. But we've seen the reports that the Jets were interested in shopping Darren Lee. It's not a shock. We've been hearing Darren Lee's name for a long time now, but I've seen it 50-50 split pretty much on Twitter so far as adding Darren Lee to this team or not adding Darren Lee. So I want to get your opinion, man, as far as if you think we should add a Darren Lee to this team.
I think a Darren Lee would not be a bad move. I mean, the thing is, he's kind of the odd man out right now in New York because you look at that linebacking group, it is absolutely loaded at this point. And considering that they're probably going to be going after, what's his name? Josh Allen, at least what's being speculated, it would not surprise me if they said, cool, your service is done. Get out. And, I think he'd be a great talent. The one thing that is starting to bug me a little bit is the fact that and why people want him. Because he went to Ohio State. I'd rather have the talent than where he went to college. I don't care if he's a Buckeye.
And that's very fair. To me, I get it. We're excited, and we feel like any kind of big name star or anything like that, we're just trying to assemble Voltron here where, any name we can, let's get them here because we think we can go at it. Now, the thing you have to be careful about is that this is not the NBA, okay? You can't just grab a bunch of big-name people, throw them on the squad, and do what the NBA does because the NBA is 5 guys on the court. I mean, and that same guy can affect defense and offense. This isn't the same. This is the NFL. And we've seen teams try to assemble big names very quickly, like, for instance, with the Rams last year, and then we still seen them get absolutely stomped in the Super Bowl. So it may get you there, but it just really depends. And right now with Darren Lee, not that I'm opposed to adding him, I just feel it's unnecessary right now. I think that we can find our linebacker in the draft. I honestly feel that with all these names floating around before the draft, that I keep telling people, look, be patient. You still got a lot of time before the season starts, even before training camp, and then during training camp, and just a little bit after training camp. We've seen that we brought in people even after training camp that made an impact on this team. And there's going to be a lot of cuts, okay? When these people draft these people, they're going to want to get younger because they just brought in 8 to 10 draftees. And there's going to be some veteran names get released. There's going to be veteran players that get cut. It's a lot of movement that still has to happen in order to get, to the regular season. So I'm just not all about – I know Dorsey's aggressive. He loves to trade. But I think the trade that we made and what we did was for OBJ, and that's what we needed, and that's it. I mean, other than that, I don't really see us needing to complete any big blockbuster trades anymore until we start seeing these other teams shake out people and go from there, because there's going to be some good quality people that get released. Just is what it is.
Absolutely. I think the bigger trade that we will see is I think we'll see some kind of trade up. Like, I don't think that we're going to see I don't think we're going to see a player come over at this point. I just think that we're probably going to see whether it's moving up in the second round or Dorsey finding some kind of way to get back into the first at this point.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's been a big rumor. And, again, we will see a lot of rumors when it comes to John Dorsey. One, because we don't know what the hell he wants to do. Okay, like he just keeps everything so freaking quiet. So we don't know what the heck he wants to do. Secondly, we know that he shoots big. I mean, he's just that big time, shoot from the hip kind of guy, and he pulls off some of the most trades that we could only dream about. I mean, again, OBJ, we only dreamed about that, and all of a sudden it's like boom, he's here. So again, Dorsey will make and do what's right for the team, chemistry-wise, talent-wise, everything that has to be done. And we still have a lot of good players here, and there's still so much time, man, before some meaningful football gets played on that field. So I'd just be patient if I was everybody out there and just sit back and enjoy the ride. You know what I mean? Again, the draft is coming up, and there's going to be so much going on, man. It's going to be a busy time, so I'm very excited for this week. But let's take a quick break, our final break. When we come back, we had a big-time schedule release as well. So we'll get into that, get into some of the matchups that we do like, don't like, whatever it is. And, Eric, what do you think? You kind of up for maybe doing an early prediction for our record?
Yeah, we can absolutely do that, my man.
Awesome sauce. So, all right, this is Brownstown, USA, and we will be right back.
Hey, what's good? It's your boy Nate Burles from the NFL Network and CBS. When the illest to do it. Hey, you listening to the 3-Point Conversion Radio. Don't you go anywhere. It's lit. It's lit.
It's Brownstown, USA. Welcome back. And, man, make sure you follow my man Eric, man. He's doing all kinds of big things. Job, the radio station, posting crazy pictures. I think I seen a porcupine eating some Jell-O one time. All kinds of stuff, man. But, follow him on Twitter at Stoshball, on Instagram at I_M_Stoshball. Great follow there. Make sure you follow me at LA Broadus at LA_Broadus on all your social media platforms as well. And we're just opening up, man. We talk about Browns, but we also talk about a lot of other stuff because guess what? We're more than just Browns people, guys. Don't limit us, all right? Don't put us in a box. But anywho, let's talk about this schedule, man. A lot of people – well, actually, let me ask you this before we get into our specific schedule.
Mm-hmm.
There was so much to do about this schedule, right? We seen the schedule, the infamous schedule leak that everybody thought it was. Remember, you sent me and I was just like, I don't know. I'm going to just chill out for a second. And we found out that schedule wasn't even close to what we thought it was going to be. But this whole to-do about the schedule, the leaks, whatever it is, and then, of course, NFL taking advantage as only NFL can by coming out with an NFL schedule show. How do you feel about all this, man, this whole hype around the NFL schedule? Do you think we should just tell us what the freaking schedule is? Or, like, are you okay with the the show and the mystery behind it.
I do think it's actually I thought it was clever, to be honest. I'm not even gonna lie. Especially since in the past years we've always seen nothing, that they would just put out a piece of paper for it.
Right, they're just like, blam, here it is. Blam.
Yeah, the thing was, it's just like, it's a big day because we've been seeing the off seasons get bigger and better, if you will. I mean, we've been seeing it go on, and then when the schedule's released, it's like, here you go. It's like, no, you gotta do something with it. I'm guessing you just saw the Twitter feed that's going on.
Well, I seen Adam the Bull
Yep.
tweeted in regards to that, so that's good. I also seen something else, but it was NBA related. More Kevin Durant drama.
But yeah, like, the thing is, I watched almost every single schedule release just because the videos were freaking awesome. Like,
they were petty this year. Atlanta was very petty. These teams are petty, and I don't know who's running the social media accounts for these guys, but they're definitely doing a great job.
like let me ask you, who is your favorite one out of all the ones you've seen?
I mean, to be honest with you, I would have to go with Atlanta because that's really the one that I watched the most and I heard the most about. So it generated the most buzz around it. So I would definitely say Atlanta right now. You watched more than I did. Who did you like?
To be honest, I kind of like the Giants one where they had like two players. They were just doing the announcement for the schedules, but they had like a different thing making fun of every single team they played. Andrew Luck was pretty good too.
Real quick, man. I forgot to bring this up, but dude, how salty are the Giants right now, man? Like, we keep seeing them take shots at OBJ. Like, we've seen the GM come out. They asked the GM if he's pleased with the locker room, and all that. He said, like, of course I am now, kind of indicating towards that OBJ was the problem. OBJ tweeted yesterday, and I seen his second tweet when he said, the truth will set you free. So I was kind of like, what the heck is he talking about? Then I went back and I seen him like retweet the whole thing of Gettleman, saying that, he was happy with the locker room now and all of that. Real quick before I get your thoughts, man, I can't really hold Gettleman to anything right now because the guy came out and said that he believes Eli Manning still has a lot left in the tank, and he proved it last season. First of all, if you say something like that, you're discredited for any future conversation. All right, period, point blank. All right, I don't care if I know it's raining outside. I'm not gonna ask you if it's raining outside. Like I don't trust anything you gotta say. So, but the shots at OBJ, man, like, I mean, is Gettleman doing this to save face? Like, I mean, what is with the saltiness still?
That's the only thing I can think of. I mean, the scary thing is with all this is you kept hearing him say, we're not going to trade OBJ. We're not going to trade him. You heard him deny it adamantly. And then all of a sudden when he trades him, he wasn't that good. If you did not like him, don't you think you would have gotten rid of him beforehand? Not to mention, how many different players have come out in support of OBJ after the trade, including Eli Manning and Saquon Barkley, who at this point are the two biggest factors in how the Giants season goes now. I mean, it seemed like Sterling Shepard was upset as well. I mean, here's the thing. If you're Gettleman, I don't even know what you can say at this point. I mean, a lot of Giants fans are trying to cope with it, but even they're saying that they think that it was a bad move on their end.
I had a dude troll me for a week. Everything I posted, it had nothing to do with NFL, but he kept saying, give me my wide receiver back for an entire week. I told him, I was like, yo, he's a good friend of mine or whatever, but I was just like, dude, I might have to block you for a second, like take a break, because Stop talking to me about OBJ. Like, I literally posted a picture of my mom, and he's like, give me my wide receiver back. And I'm like, dude, stop. Like, this is getting overboard. So, I don't know, man, but at the end of the day, it's like, quit taking shots at OBJ. He's happy here. He's proved it. He's showing it. Just let the season play out.
Exactly.
But, speaking of the season being played out, look, man, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Looks like 4 primetime games right now.
Mm-hmm.
Possibly could be more because we've seen the NFL flex a lot of games sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But, that depends on how the team is playing. Another big notable thing to say is we got a bye week on the 7th week. So we got a bye. Is that right before Kareem comes back on the 8th week? He'll be eligible to come back?
I believe so. If not, then it'll end just in time for the Patriot game, if that's true.
Right. So we got the Patriots right after the bye, which absolutely does well for us because we have an extra week to prepare for that game. We open up against
Tennessee.
the Titans, which to me, I mean, it's not that big of an excitement as far as what we thought. All the indicators. Remember, everybody was speculating who we could go up against and stuff like that. But it is what it is. The biggest thing about this schedule that jumped out to me, Eric, and then I'll throw it to you about what jumps out to you, is Baker gets to see every single quarterback that was drafted in the draft with him. The Josh Allens, the Sam Darnolds, as of right now, quote unquote, Josh Rosen. Even another quarterback that is still, Lamar Jackson. I'm sorry, but we see some pretty good quarterbacks on the schedule. I mean, a quarterback that I'm actually kind of thinking, I'm like, wow, but Jimmy G, everybody forgot about him. He got injured early in the season.
Yeah.
But we get to face off against him week 5.
On Monday night.
Huh?
On Monday night.
Yeah. So that's the one thing that jumped out to me about the schedule is that he gets to actually go through and prove that he's the number 1 quarterback out of his draft class. What jumped out to you about the schedule?
What jumps out to me, other than all the primetime games, is the fact that if you look at that all of our division games, except for our in Baltimore game, are in the last, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, are just in the last half of the season. Like the last 11, from week 11 to week 17, all of our games are going to be divisional games. And that to me is great. The other thing that I definitely will say jumps out is the placement of the bye week, because as we've seen, we always come out firing after the bye weeks. Even during that 0-16 season, we came out firing because if I remember correctly, that was the game where we took Detroit to overtime. But the thing is, we get it against the Patriots, who that's going to be a huge matchup. We need to be good in that game. The only thing is, and this is something that does worry me, is that we essentially are going to see Baker Mayfield go against someone that he's been compared to heavily in week 6. Because we've heard all the comparisons between him and Russell Wilson. We've also heard all the comparisons for the week 15 matchup, if indeed the Arizona Cardinals do take Kyler Murray, where you see old versus new.
Very true. I think that if there's anything concerning, and kind of speaking to your point about so many divisional games towards the end of the season, is one, if we have to have an injury, let's get it out the way early, please, so that we can be healthy in the last stretch of the season. The one thing that people kept pointing out is that we haven't really seen a Steelers matchup back-to-back like this in a long time. It's like we're going to play the Steelers, play the Dolphins, then right back to the Steelers again. So a lot of people were like, wow, normally, we play the Steelers early in the season, then we get them towards the end of the season. So that's kind of weird too that we faced them so quickly back to back like that. I don't think we've seen that before.
Oh, I think we have. If I remember correctly, I thought we actually played the Steelers 1 week on week 15, and then we had somebody else in between, and then I think we played them in week 17. I think it was the year that we almost went to the playoffs.
Got you. Well, I just know that the Bengals don't really scare me so much being there, but the Steelers and the Ravens, we could be playing some really meaningful games here where, we may be looking at how we did last season where it was like a make or break. You remember how the Steelers are waiting for us to see if we could beat the Ravens for them to get in. We might be looking at a similar situation again. I see some people peg and say that they believe that the wild card team will come out of the AFC North. So possibly having 2 AFC North teams in the playoffs. Giving an early schedule prediction record, where do you see the worst and where do you see the best at?
Well, best in my mind, I'm just going to say it. I think best, let's see. I could see us, best I could see us beating I see us I'll just go game by game quickly. Titans, I see us beating. Jets, I see us beating. Rams, I think that's going to be a loss. Ravens, I'm going to make a push right now just because it's the Ravens. You don't know what you get with them. San Francisco, I'm going to say push. Seahawks, push. Patriots, you can't bet against Brady, unfortunately. So I'm going to put a loss. Denver win. Buffalo win. Steelers at home, I think, is a win. Dolphins are a win. Steelers on the road, I'm going to put as a push. Bengals win. Cardinals win. I think we could beat Baltimore at home. And Bengals win. So overall, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10. I think at worst we get at least 10 wins. At best, I think we can get 12 to 13.
Very optimistic. Wow.
Well, the thing is, as much as people say that this is not that we're playing not very great teams, it's football. And the thing is, we should have won more games last year. I mean, we should have won that Buccaneers game. I hate to say it, but we should have won that Steelers game. We should have won the Saints game. So,
no, we had a ton of overtime games last year, and are a lot of close ones, and then who goes to show what could have happened if Baker would have started the season off. So I definitely agree with that. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna say my bottom is I would be disappointed with the season if we didn't get more than 9. 9 would be my bottom line. My top is 11 as of right now. Again, we still got the draft. We still got a lot of other things and moving parts to play here. And then, of course, knock on wood, no meaningful injuries at all. And that's the one thing I was watching Odell's timeline and seeing him train in the sand and just all these different things, man. And I kept thinking to myself, man, like, don't have a freak injury. Don't get injured. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just like, I want him wrapped up in bubble wrap, man, and just transported to the stadium every game. Just wrap him up in bubble wrap, man. Because I can't imagine. I mean, we seen some seen some season-ending injuries from him, and we've also seen some nagging injuries from him as well. Jarvis has had some nagging injuries. Miles has had some nagging injuries. So, and then, man, we don't ever want to see Baker get touched. So, look, this is a good feeling to have, Eric. We're a good team, and to be worried about, any kind of injuries that could take us out of that 11-game range of winning, it is absolutely phenomenal, man, to think about where we've come from, where we were discussing if we can get 5 to 6 wins and it being a success now. Compared to now where we're like, nah, dog, we got to be at 9 to 11 games. So just a huge testament to what everybody has done so far, man, building up this Browns, and that's no pun intended. So, Eric, before we get out of here, man, is there anything else lingering on your mind about this Browns? Again, guys, make sure you check us out a little bit later on this week. We will have a draft special Browns for you guys coming up later on this week. That's why we didn't get to it too much in this episode, but we just wanted to come back and say hi. So, Eric, you got anything else for us?
See you Wednesday. That's all I got for you. I mean, the fact of the matter is, it's time for what used to be our favorite time of the year. But you know what? It's still going to be exciting because John Dorsey is like a crock pot. You don't know what's in them. You don't know if it's going to taste good. But it usually comes out delicious, and it usually leaves us wanting more. So, John, the floor is yours.
Absolutely. So there you have it, Brownstown USA, another episode wrapped up. Thanks for listening, guys. Make sure when you listen, you rate us, give us a 5-star rating if you feel the show is great. If not, let us know. We always love any kind of feedback possible. Make sure you subscribe to the show as well so you never miss an episode again. This is Brownstown USA, powered by the 3-Point Conversion, and we will see you later on this week.